Welcome everybody, this is Eddie Minaya. I'm a web designer, a graphic designer, what do I do? Okay. Welcome everybody, this is Eddie Minaya. I'm a web designer, a graphic designer, a visual communicator, a storyteller with more than 20 years of experience. If just subscribe, I guess. Looks very silly from this end of the camera. Alright, let's try it again. Welcome everybody, this is Eddie Minaya. I'm a web designer, a graphic designer, a visual communicator, a storyteller with more than 20 years of experience. If you're new to this channel will give you tips to grow your graphic design career from the... What do I do? Okay, let's try one last time. Welcome everybody, this is Eddie Minaya. I'm a graphic designer, a web designer, a visual communicator, a storyteller with more than 20 years of experience. If you are new to this channel will give you tips for your graphic design career from the creative director's perspective. So stay tuned. This is Eddie Knows TV. So today we're going to talk about presentations. Can you do it? Is it necessary? Do you have to do it? Are you ready to do this? The first few, my intro to this video, the first few takes, they were actually real. They were things that I messed up, and I had to record it a few times in order to get it right. It's you know, practice will always make things better, so that's why I have to do it 2-3 times. And even though I've done it a few times, I still have to do it. You know, as a graphic designer, as a web designer, as a user experience professional, as a visual communicator, as a storyteller that you are, that we are, you know, we take so much pride on our work, and a lot of times you want to kind of, you know, dive right into the creative aspect of the process, and how to, you know, come up with a great idea, and how to work with this cool project, and how to, you know, apply all this, you know, trendy things that are going on. But you never really think when you're in school, or at least I didn't think of this when I was in school, is that you actually have to be good at selling, at presenting. When I went to college, presentation was part of the sometimes a part of the classes. You had to present to the class some of the work, and I can tell you that for what I remember, it's been a while. It's been a little bit of a time since I graduated college, but there was very few people that were actually good at it. And sincerely, I've met throughout my life very few people that are very kind of natural at this. A lot of times you do have to practice. You have to kind of think of it this way. Oh my God, can I make myself better at presenting? And one thing I am going to tell you, that if you are terrified, completely terrified of being in front of a crowd, if you're terrified of presenting, you know, kind of being in front of you know, leading a webinar, or, you know, being on the phone and trying not to get all your thoughts all together, and try, you know, you just have a lot of anxiety by doing it, and it's really you try, and nothing really works. You may have to really think, you know, what's the path that you want to take within this career. There's other things you could do. I mean, you could potentially, if you're in the web design industry, you could go more into the front-end development, which is still very visual aesthetic. You know, kind of know design, and kind of come up with the designs, and then kind of do more of the HTML, the front-end part of it, and that will most likely, you will be in an office or in a cubicle, kind of writing code and making all these visuals come to life. Presenting will be a lot less. You know, you can also always go into the production side. Production meaning that you're more mechanical, you're still very technical, but at the same time, it's, you know, it's very repetitive work, and then most likely it's going to be something that's given to you, and then you're just kind of just do it. So presenting to a client would be definitely a lot less. Now, I'm not discouraging you to try to present and trying to not to be good at it, because you know, you can practice. You can practice by trying to try it out and see how you do. But if you're just not, you know, something that you're always going to have a fear and a lot of anxiety and try to do it, then, you know, those are just tips I'm giving you that you may, you know, if you're early in your career, then maybe you want to think if you want to go this direction or the other direction, and where presenting will be less. When I was in right before college, I presented. I had a job where I had to do presentations. The presentations were sales, and I call it presentations because the way I was trained, I was trained to almost present the product, to ask from the customer, you know, what is it they like the best about the product that they were interested in buying. There were techniques, you know, sales techniques that I was trained on. I was selling for an electronics store that's not in business anymore. No names are required to mention. And I was selling cell phones, and I was selling car stereos. And I did pretty good. I did, you know, this is when I was like finishing up high school, and I did pretty good for being a, you know, a 17, 18-year-old. And I started pretty good, you know, I got pretty good in sales. I was the top 10% for 2 years, the 2 years that I was there. So I was a higher earner, but then I moved on to college, and I figured that once I moved on to college, this is what I want to do. I want to do design. I want to do graphic design. I went to an art school, and then once I did it, you know, I figured that the sales skills that I had were pretty much on the side. I didn't really connect the two. However, you know, my career after college, got you know, a job, and I was like working. I realized that some of the skills that I actually had as a sales person, the selling skills, they're actually going to be very useful for to present my work. Keep in mind, we are selling you're selling your idea. I'm selling my idea, my process. So if you're given the project, let's say you're doing a landing page, and that's what the outcome needs to be. It's a landing page design, and you need to come up with a look and feel. You need to come up with a color scheme. You need to come up with the theme. You need to come up with the graphics. You need to come up with the layout, and they'll give you a brief that just gives you very basic information of, you know, more, not basic, but more of a overall information of what the client is looking for. Then you're going to have your own process. You can check out my video about process, you're going to have your own process and trying to come up with an idea. But then how do you put the client, your client, or maybe your supervisor, your creative director, into that kind of hot seat for them to kind of go and take the journey that you took in order to get from the time you were reading the creative brief to the time you actually have the prototype ready. You had a lot of steps in between. You know, it could have been sketches, it could have been you know, exploratory design, it could have been inspiration, you know, going to different websites and for inspiration, it could have been sketches, it could have been all these kind of things merged together, and you kind of have an idea, and you went through a journey in how to do it. So what you want to do is you want to have your client, whoever you're presenting it to, being able to kind of take the journey from point A to the end, to point Z, because then that would allow for the client to be like, okay, I get it, I understand it, and they feel like they're part of the process, and that's what's important. The client, not only they need to feel that they're part of the process, but they need to be part of the process. So if you want to even kind of bring them halfway through, again, you have to kind of put them on that seat and kind of walk them through, trying to walk them through and understand your process. So you're selling it. You're selling your idea. You're selling your concept. You're selling your execution. You're constantly selling. You're constantly selling your ideas, your solutions, you know, and the things that you really want to the outcome of what you're trying to do. You know, most projects that you're gonna work, you know, obviously if it's something small, it may not require, but anything that's big, you know, from anything that you think is very conceptual, it's very important that you kind of present it to the client, not just send it off with an email, because that a lot of times it's a 50-50 chance. The client might say, sure, this is good, or not. They might just not like one of the graphics that's there, and it's enough for them to say, you know what, I don't like it, and you don't really know why when it's really just one of the graphics. So for you to present it and to kind of take them through the journey that you took to get to that outcome will allow for the client to understand better your point of view. Now, it's also important to, when you're doing over the phone, and this is sometimes challenging, you're trying to present something and you're trying to sell your idea to one of your clients, sell your process, sell your concept, and then you're on the phone because you're presenting and you're sharing maybe the screen to kind of show them, and then you hear silence. That's like the worst 2 or 3 seconds of your day. I can tell you that much, because you don't know what are they thinking. Are they thinking, oh my God, this sucks? Have they put their phone in mute and they're talking crap about you and about your design? So what the hell is he or she thinking? What the hell is this? Are we paying money to do this? Or are they saying, oh my God, this is so good, I don't want to have any changes, but I feel that if I don't, I'm not, I need to be a client. I mean, it could go either way. So, solution for this, it doesn't work for all clients, but it can work a lot for clients are nowadays more open, is do a video conference. This would allow not only for them to pay attention, because they're not going to be doing this. That's you on the phone, talking, texting your girlfriend, whatever it will be. They're actually going to be paying attention to the screen and paying attention to what you're saying, taking them through the journey, because you can have a kick-ass presentation and you have how you're going to take them through the journey of how you got to this great design. But if they're not listening, at the end, it's still almost like if you would have just sent them by email. So if you do a video conference, it allows for them to pay attention because you can see their expression. Plus, keep that in mind. That's huge. You can see their expression and how it goes. So you want to go for the presentation and you want to go through, kind of remind them of the key points. So Mr. Klein, and this is, you were trying to achieve this. This is your audience. This is this. You want the client to say yes, nodding. It's almost like reveal. You're about to open that curtain and say, here it is. And so you want to prep them, and the client's like, yes, that's exactly what I want. And then you open it, and their mindset is already in the yes mode, that they're, even if it's something that they at first they would have said, oh, I'm not really sure, I'm not sure if I like it, that would change their mind. It's a game changer to kind of keep them and put them in that mindset, and to kind of keep them reveal that at the end. It's like, and here's the design, and follows this and this things that we just talked about. The client will be like, yes, that's it. Maybe that little graphic that they didn't like, now they do. Why? Because you walk them through. Why? Because you can see their faces. Why? Because now you can actually, it's almost like they're being part of the... So my camera got cut off right at the end. That's why the end of the last... Anyway. So keep that in mind. You want to look at your client's eye. You want to make him part of the process. Put him on the hot seat. Make him kind of see and travel through that journey that you have, in order for them to understand where are you coming from, why you came up with these solutions, and why. That's part of selling. That's part of presenting. You have to get good at it. Record yourself, record your voice, do it over and over a few times. Do a video of yourself, and so you can kind of see your own expressions, and how, sometimes you may do things that you don't realize you do when you're talking about, presenting about something. So maybe start with just recording your audio, and then if your voice, and then that way you can hear also your high, your lows, your ha, maybe you understand that maybe you need to just, that's where you need to tone it, all sounds funny. All these things have to tone it down. Video would be great, so that way you can actually see it, but you can work yourself up to that. Maybe start with just your voice. You can use your phone, just your iPhone, or your Android phone, record a memo, and then do a video and practice. This is going to be a key in your career to sell your ideas, to present. Present is going to be a huge, huge, huge part of your work. And I can tell you, I've been doing this for about 22, 23 years. And even up until today, I still got to prepare for a presentation. I still got to practice. It's not easy to do. You have to do it not just once or twice. You can't just wing it. If you are gonna wing it, it's gonna look like you're just winging it. It's not gonna look like you actually put effort. So hopefully this video helped you. It gave you at least some sort of tips about presenting. And stay tuned for more. This is Eddie Knows TV.